DJ Envy, Angela Yee, and Charlamagne the God.
I want to congratulate you, Hall of Famers. So honored to be in the presence of radio royalty.
It's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club.
It's a big deal.
I think that y'all have a certain amount of respect for, what everybody else does, and y'all are just the best at what y'all do.
We love y'all, man. Thank you for being the people's champs.
Probably the greatest.
All three of y'all. Listen to The Breakfast Club on the Black Effect iHeartRadio Podcast Network, on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Presented by Pepsi Zero Sugar.
This is Steven Jackson, co-host of the podcast All the Smoke, a production of the Black Effect and iHeartMedia in partnership with Showtime. Each week, my brother Matt Barnes and I, two NBA champions, sit down with the biggest names in sports and culture to have uncut and raw conversations. No BS questions, no BS answers. We get right to it with each and every guest. So join Matt and I every week for All the Smoke to hear interviews you won't get anywhere else. Subscribe on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Presented by Pepsi, Zero Sugar.
Thanks for listening to the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon podcast. Be sure to catch us live every weeknight, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, 7 to 11 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Find your local station for the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon at foxsportsradio.com or stream us live every night on the iHeartRadio app by searching FSR.
Now let's get this party started.
You're listening to Fox Sports Radio.
Greetings and welcome inside the Jason Smith Show with my best friend Mike Harmon.
Yes, sir.
NFL Draft Round 1 in the books. So many big stories, but of course the biggest story of the night comes to us courtesy of a story that doesn't involve a player who was drafted. The Aaron Rodgers saga from today hangs over the NFL draft, so much so that after the Packers picked end of the first round, they picked a cornerback from Georgia that not a lot of people had going in the first round. Eric Stokes, who's a pretty good player, but here's another situation of the Packers being able to say blank you to Aaron Rodgers. Now, there's being right about a prediction, and there is being stunningly correct.
So did you write your retirement speech, or do you have to wait for the transaction to actually go down?
Yeah, I got to wait for the trade to actually happen.
Because otherwise, I'm just taking over, and you can take the rest of the night off.
No, I got to wait for I got to have a crowning moment, right? I got to have that crowning moment. It was 2 weeks ago where I told you, and the proof is in Twitter, we said it on the show many times, Aaron Rodgers is laying in the weeds. He's going to push his advantage and press his cachet at the biggest moment possible, either right before or right after the draft, and he's going to tell the Packers, you are trading me, or I am going to sit at home until you do. And what happens today? We find out that Aaron Rodgers, through a leaked source somehow, is so upset with the Packers, he doesn't want to play there ever again. This is after the report came out that the Niners made a huge offer to the Packers for Aaron Rodgers, which I told you was going to happen, right? The Niners are going to make this huge offer to the Packers. I mean, it's there. There's being right and there's being in the zone, man. This is like a 4-home-run day for me, man. I was so right about both of these things, and everybody went crazy today. Aaron Rodgers, what's going to happen? I'll tell you this much. First things first, the Packers dared Aaron Rodgers to do this. They have been trying to push him and push his buttons for well over a year now. A year ago tonight, when they drafted Jordan Love, I told you this is the last year Aaron Rodgers will play in Green Bay because the Packers want to push him out. And that's what they've been doing. They have dared Aaron Rodgers to do this. And now he's done it, and now the Packers have no idea what to do. Because if you think for a second that this is Aaron Rodgers is going to come back and play for Green Bay after this, it's not happening. Right? Aaron Rodgers is a different dude, right? The hosting of Jeopardy is a big thumb your nose. I can do something like this and be very happy if you want. I can be very, very happy here. After saying and having it come out that he doesn't want to play there anymore, can he really go back inside that locker room? He can't.
Well, he hasn't physically said it yet.
No, not
right. He's got to go on air, get another run on Jeopardy, maybe when LeVar Burton's hosting or something, do a walk-on and say, hey, Green Bay, you drafted another non-offensive player. Blank you.
Yeah, but he hasn't
done that.
He hasn't said it's not true. If something like that gets out and it's not true, this is where you get in front of it right away and go, hey, no, that's not true. But this story gets out. Aaron Rodgers doesn't deny it. When you don't deny a story like that, it's a really big deal. He's not going back to that team. He can't go back after this. I've had it. I can't go back. Now what is he going to do? Can you really go back anyway?
Yeah, but that's the best. The Packers have the complete advantage in this, though.
They don't.
Because they already have their quarterback of the future.
No,
he doesn't want to play. He can play tiddlywinks over on the sideline and sit on his ass.
First of all, is that an advantage having Jordan Love over Aaron Rodgers?
The answer is, I don't know, but you already drafted the, quote, heir apparent.
The answer is no. Aaron Rodgers will sit home, and if you don't trade him, he'll sit home until you do. He'll sit on. I'll take a year off.
Next man up, baby.
I will take a year off. And the Packers can't just let him sit there because it's a horrible headline for them. And when you have an asset that's not gaining you anything, eventually you're going to trade him. I mean, that happens for everybody. Nobody sits forever.
Well, they're not the bad guy in this situation. He's wearing the black hat right now.
No, it doesn't matter. They can't get along, and they've dared him to do this. They draft his successor last year, which was ridiculously bad because you're a game away from the Super Bowl, and you draft a quarterback. You've never drafted a wide receiver.
36 years old,
and the guy won the MVP
That's
this year.
That's great. He was motivated. He was angry.
He won the MVP.
He played against the Lions and Bears 4 times.
He's a great quarterback. You don't draft him one receiver his entire time in Green Bay in the first round.
I can't explain that. That's
you
just
don't get him in. But the one offensive guy you do say, we're going to trade up for a quarterback for your replacement. Okay,
you got to think of the future.
Take a lot of the blame here. The Packers
I'm going all Joker
quotes
here. On you now.
I know you're thinking. And look what happened to Eckhart. All right, so there you go.
He shot him in the heart.
Spoiler alert. What if people haven't seen Batman
people haven't
yet?
seen the classic 1989 Batman starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, they can beat it.
Where you been spending your nights. The Packers own a lot of this, right? You can't get along with your star quarterback. And now, do you really think that this is going to turn out well for you? You're going to have to trade him. Everybody gets, even Carson Palmer, who sat out, the Bengals said, no. They eventually traded him.
Yeah, but he wasn't the MVP.
Gets traded. Everybody gets traded. And and the Packers can sit back and go, well, you want to not play, you sit there and not play. And eventually the NFL is going to get involved and go, what are you doing? This is a huge deal for us. He's a huge guy. He's very popular. Let's try to find a way to make this happen. And that's what's going to happen. Eventually he's going to get to a team. Now he's going to get to his preferred destination? Probably not. I mean, we heard today that maybe the Broncos were a team that are close to a deal.
We talked about them the other day, right?
And
Mark Schlereth, Fox Sports.
What did I tell you? The team that should have a Hail Mary for Aaron Rodgers, the Denver Broncos. Like I'm telling you, when I'm rolling sevens about Aaron Rodgers, man, I'm rolling sevens, and that's where it's at. But he will sit home until you trade. He doesn't care. He is a different guy. And the Packers, yes, we're a different organization. But it's clear you can't get along. You dared him to do this. Now he's done it. Now what are you going to do? Because I can't see him playing another down for the Green Bay Packers after today. You waited till the draft day to let this leak, to push it so the Packers would panic and make a trade before the draft or right around the draft. And the Packers let today go by, and they think we're going to try to figure this out somehow. It ain't happening.
Be sure to catch live editions of The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon weekdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
Good afternoon. Would you like to try a free sample of our double fudge brownie?
Oh, sure. That's very good. I'll just take one more, just to be sure. Yep, still very good.
Some things never change, like never being able to take just one free sample. And Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
Is that macadamia nut I taste? Let me take one more.
Sir,
yeah. I thought so.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
I'm Malcolm Gladwell, and I've got to warn you. The new season of my podcast, Revisionist History, is completely unbound. We're finally out of the house. And now that we've got the chance, we're going into the streets and even under the sea. All in the name of continuing this journey through the overlooked and misunderstood. Our episodes take on autonomous cars, dirty laundry, college rankings, and fairy tales. In quarantine, I finally watched The Little Mermaid, and I was shocked. It's rife with moral conundrums. Can it be saved? With the help of Jodie Foster, Britt Marling, and Dax Shepard, we attempt an epic de-Disneyfying of a Disney classic. I haven't decided who we rile up most, college presidents or Disney executives. You'll have to hear for yourself. Listen to Revisionist History on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Now, here's a great tweet I saw earlier. This comes from Matt Pomeroy at Matt Pompom, researcher, graphics producer over at ESPN. No Packers quarterback has played 17 seasons with the team. Bart Starr, 16 years. Brett Favre, 16 years. Aaron Rodgers has been there. You guessed it. 16 years. So.
It's like what was the band that you got kicked out of when you hit Menudo?
Right? Where
Ricky Martin was, right? You hit 15 years old.
So
they kicked
it
you
was
out.
Saturday Night Live or one of those that did a joke. Here they are in a nursery, and here's Menudo 2042 and things of that nature. Yeah. No, it's truly an interesting development. As this started going this morning, I was like, all right, Smith's either cashed out a lottery ticket or he's sitting around eating a giant pile of cheeseburgers, which would be like, for some being a last meal on their way to Old Sparky. For you, it would be my victory lap.
I mean, really, what did I say? In the past 2 weeks, the Broncos should make a Hail Mary play for Aaron Rodgers. It happened. The Niners will try to trade for Aaron Rodgers and send the 3 pick. It happened. Aaron Rodgers will wait till the last minute, right before or right after the draft, and say, I'm not playing anymore. That happened today. I mean, really, Schefter should give me his paycheck for today. I mean, he went on with that big thing on NFL Live. Got a big thing coming. I'm like, I told you this 2 weeks ago. Where's that? You know what? You owe me money for today.
Dude, we get no credit for any of that. Have you not realized that by now? By the way, Aaron Rodgers will be at Churchill Downs over the weekend. I'll see if my brothers can track him down for an exclusive. As the Kentucky Derby will run on Saturday afternoon. We'll see if he's in a nice suit and jaunty hat and how drunk he is and ready to talk.
I mean, really, after today, this is how you do it, right? This is how he does it, letting it leak this way. Right, here's a story, because there's no way this was something that, I found this out. I got to go with it.
How about being a man and just say it, though?
Leak. Well, he still wants to be the good guy.
He's not a good guy. He looks he doesn't look like a good guy in any of this.
All right, who do you think right now that the Packers fan base and Packers are more mad at? All right, are they more mad at Aaron Rodgers, or are they more mad at the Packers?
Of course, they're going to be mad at the Packers
for kicking a field goal.
Well,
for pushing your guy out of town. Right,
I called for his job at the moment.
Aaron Rodgers has the cachet with the fan base. So now if I come out this way with it and reports say I don't trust that, I can't play there anymore. If he leaves, it's going to be, how did we wind up pushing Aaron Rodgers out? And everybody's going to be mad. And Aaron Rodgers is going to leave, and he's going to have a great reputation on the way out and say, hey, I tried, but it didn't work, and they drafted Jordan Love. Everything is falling into place for him. He's not going to be the bad guy. What did the Packers do? You have Aaron Rodgers. We're going to draft his heir apparent years before we're supposed to, and we're going to trade up in the first round to get it for a guy that needs years to be able to get it right. And maybe we don't know how good he's going to be. I don't think that makes the fans happy.
But the bottom line is you have no idea where the cliff is. We've seen the guy hurt. Right? We've seen the collarbone injuries and all of that. You don't know how much mileage he's got left. And God bless him. He went out and had an MVP season. They ran back and had another phenomenal year. But you don't know when the wheels come off, and you need to have a backup that you believe in more so than a banjo guy that's just hanging out, because you saw how that happened in the past for them, and where a season that might have been promising and could have been salvaged with a backup worth his weight in salt went to hell. So, you know what? He can cry me a river. Life comes at you fast.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is the reality we're in. You can be mad at Aaron Rodgers all you want. You can be mad at. You can say it's his fault.
It doesn't matter. I'm just calling it what it is.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Both sides. I mean, really, you really think this is Aaron Rodgers? This is more Aaron Rodgers than it is Green Bay, and Green Bay sitting around like going, I don't know. They pushed Brett Favre out, and they brought Aaron Rodgers. Now they're pushing Aaron Rodgers out.
But dude threatened to retire 100 times. At some point, you got to go.
Well, he did. There was a lot of the threatening, and it was okay when you had Aaron Rodgers. Hey, we got Aaron Rodgers turn to. Now it's, we're going to go to Jordan Love? Well, wait a minute. Trust me, the Packers are going to get the lion's share of the blame for this, and they should, because you have to be able to get along with your superstar quarterback. I mean, that's the bottom line of it. Whether you like him or don't like him, you have to be able to get along with your superstar quarterback. Look at the New England Patriots. They could no longer get along with Tom Brady. Tom Brady left and went and won the Super Bowl. All right? The Seahawks can't find a way to get along with Russell Wilson.
Hey, everything's fine according to Pete Carroll. What are you talking about?
And now you have to find a way to get along with a superstar quarterback who brings you to heights every single year and makes you a Super Bowl threat. And it's not anything out of the realm of just get me playmakers, do this, commit to me. You really think the Packers would be anywhere in the last decade without Aaron Rodgers? The guy's won a Super Bowl, been to a couple Super Bowls. He's the guy responsible. There's been coaching changes, personnel changes, wide receiver changes. It doesn't matter. And you still find a way to not get along with your superstar. I'm sorry, but that's on you.
Yeah, don't forget, your superstar doesn't seem to get along with anybody else either.
Well, all right. Would you trade your quarterback for Aaron Rodgers? I trade my quarterback
anymore.
for Aaron
I got
Rodgers.
Justin Fields, baby. Let's go! No, even though Ryan Pace still says that Andy Dalton is QB1.
Just stop with that.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
30 teams would trade their guy for Aaron Rodgers. The Packers have never gotten him the help he's needed. Never. They've not done.
But unlike Steph Curry, he's elevated people. You could recognize that, right?
I get that, yes.
I'm using your lines against you.
No, that's pretty good. He has elevated the Packers. I get that he's a weird dude. I understand that. I get that he's not your quintessential quarterback and he's a little bit different. He walks a different path. But that doesn't matter. I mean, this is where, hey, he's a special guy, and we know that wins and losses and championships and everything else ride on his right shoulder. But still, the Packers believe that, hey, we are always the ones that dictate things, and we're going to impose our will on this, right? The Packers haven't been a team sitting back going, we don't know why Aaron's not happy. I can at least sit back and say, I get the Seahawks there going, wait a minute, so suddenly, Russell, you're upset? I mean, why are you upset? We've won a lot of games every year. We got good wide receivers. We got, we're trying to, why are you upset? I get where the Seahawks feel like, hey, we're kind of blindsided by this. You think the Packers are blindsided? They've been pushing this. They've been pushing to push out Aaron Rodgers for over a year. And once they drafted Jordan Love, he was starting to craft that plan in his head. It's like Logan Lucky, except for the NFL. It's the big, long plan. It's like he stood up and said, cauliflower. And here's the plan going on. The Packers deserve a lot of the blame because when you can't get along with your superstar, that's on you. And they drafted a guy, and they wouldn't give him a contract extension. They wouldn't make it so it would be tougher to get rid of him, and they commit to him more. They did so many things this offseason and in the last year to say, Aaron, we are pushing you out the door, just like the Patriots did to Tom Brady. They did nothing to tell Brady, hey, we want you as our guy. No, it's been, after this year, you're gone. Here's a contract. We'll give you $11 million a year. And Brady's saying, forget that, I'm leaving. They pushed him out the door. The Packers are trying to push him out the door. And what I don't get is that they're trying to push him out, and now it's a point where he wants to go, and now the Packers have no idea what to do. Now the Packers, do we trade him? Do we not? Do we trade him to Denver? I don't understand. I don't know what to do. You pushed him. You knew this was coming, and now this is taking you completely by surprise. And the Packers still think we're going forward with Aaron Rodgers. You are completely mistaken if that's going to happen, because he's going to sit home and he's going to wake up every day and go, I get traded? No? Okay, maybe I'll go host Jeopardy. Maybe I'll watch Jeopardy. I don't know. Maybe I'll play with my kid. All right? Because Aaron Rodgers is at a point in his life now, because personally it's a big deal as well. He now has met the woman of his dreams. He's having a kid. All right. When that happens, something changes in you, and you no longer feel like you are held hostage by your job, whatever it is. Right. I think if you have a kid, you kind of understand where I'm coming from, is that you can be so career-oriented, and then you meet somebody, you fall in love, and you're going to get married, and you're having a kid. And suddenly your life changes. And suddenly you say, you know what? Blank them, man. Blank that's my job. I got money. I got this. Blank them, man. I don't need their crap anymore. I've had a pretty good career. It's going to eventually continue somewhere else. If I sit out, I sit out. They are picking a fight of chicken with the wrong guy. Right. He is going to sit back and say, I'm okay. Maybe you'll see me on Jeopardy at 7:30 every night. Maybe it'll wind up being somebody else. But I am eminently okay not suiting up for the Green Bay Packers. If you think that's going to happen again, just try me.
Ready to blow your mind?
Go ahead.
Just coming down from Tom Pelissero meeting the press as they do post first round. The Packers GM, quote, he's our quarterback. He's our leader. We've been working through this for a little while now. I just think it might take some time. But he's the guy that makes this thing go. Asked following the follow-up if there's any scenario where they would trade the reigning MVP. Definitive. No. We're not going to trade Aaron Rodgers. Oh, get your popcorn, baby. Get your popcorn and a couple of tasty beverages.
Oh, this is going to go.
Run.
This is going to go for so long.
It's great.
This is going to go for
Hey, Jordan Love, get on, get going, baby.
This is going to go for so long. It's going to be awesome. Oh, my goodness.
Great
this is
theater,
be a
baby.
Great We're going to have this every day. It's going to be every day. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers versus the Packers. This is going to be awesome.
Look at this. And we got 40 minutes in, and we've talked about the Jets for 37 seconds. This is beautiful.
Well, I'm excited about the draft, man. I mean, look, I'm more, well, listen, as a radio host, I'm more excited about this. This is fantastic.
Be sure to catch live editions of The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon weekdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio and the iHeartRadio app.
Hey, I'm John Middlecoff, and I host the 3 and Out podcast. Do you like football? Do you like the NFL? Do you like the NFL draft? Quarterbacks, coaches? Well, I talk about it all on the show. I used to work for Andy Reid as a scout. Now I give you my unfiltered and raw opinions on everything that goes on in the NFL. And you know we're talking college football because of how important the draft is year-round. Listen to the 3 and Out podcast with me, John Middlecoff, on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I have PenFed, that's a fact.
I have PenFed, that's a fact.
My credit card purchases get me cash back.
My credit card purchases get me cash back.
No one else gets these rewards.
Sergeant, that is just plain untrue.
What in tarnation?
Sir, PenFed's PowerCash Rewards card isn't just for military members. Anyone can get cash back on all purchases.
Ah, Figgins, you've ruined my favorite song.
PenFed Credit Union. Visit PenFed.org/PowerCash. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed, insured by NCUA.
My friends thought my mommy stories were funny, so I started recording a podcast during nap time called Crayons on the Wall. It's given me quite a head start on a college fund.
There's a reason podcasts are popping up everywhere. Podcasts can make you money, a lot of it. And Spreaker is the easiest way to start a podcast.
I just graduated from University of Boulder. No clue what's next, so I'm traveling the world. My podcast is a daily journal from around the globe. And my stories about European travel are funding my trips to other continents.
Spreaker has everything you need to record, edit, publish, and monetize your podcast.
People always say I look like Ray Liotta, so I'm obsessed with mob movies. And my podcast, Mob Pod, has turned into what the bosses would call a good earner.
Tell your story and make money doing it. Start your podcast for free now at Spreaker.com/make-money. That's SPREAKER.com/make-money. From the iHeart Podcast Network.
Paper Ghost returns with an investigation into a tragedy that took place deep in America's heartland in a tucked-away Ohio town where a massive farmhouse belonging to a wealthy family erupted in flames.
The flames are everywhere.
All 4 residents inside were dead, and not a single person died from the flames or smoke. So the question becomes, what killed them? Or, more importantly, who?
My brother says, Carol, something's up. There is too much blood.
This season, I'm not chasing a missing persons flyer. I'm chasing a wanted poster.
That's how the mob works. They don't leave anybody.
I didn't want nobody to know what I was doing, because if they did, I wouldn't have lived till next day.
Listen to Paper Ghosts on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Fox Sports Radio, The Jason Smith Show with my best friend Mike Harmon.
Yo.
As we are on NFL Draft First Round Overload. And I got to tell you, my favorite pick of the first round, and it pains me to say it, so you know I'm telling the truth. My favorite pick of the first round is the Patriots getting Mac Jones. I mean, not because Mac Jones is always so great, but Mac Jones is a guy that was supposed to go early in the draft. Now, clearly, there's a difference between how Mac Jones was viewed by us, by the media, and by what we were told, and how NFL teams viewed Mac Jones, right? Oh, Mac Jones is the next Tom Brady. Well, if he was the next Tom Brady, he'd have gone first overall, and Trevor Lawrence is going second to the Jets. He's Tom Brady. But he's still a pretty good quarterback who is a riser and someone who got a really good draft grade. And not only did the Patriots get him, they didn't have to do anything to get him. They didn't have to trade up to get him. They didn't have to move up to 10. Didn't have to trade any kind of draft capital to get him. He fell to them, and now they have their quarterback of the future who will likely beat out Cam Newton and win the job. You know how it's going to go. A pro-style passer. They have the weapons around him. They signed 17 tight ends this offseason. Whether or not Mac Jones turns out to be great right now is irrelevant because they needed a quarterback most overall, right? That's the number one thing the Patriots needed. And they get him at 15, and they didn't have to move up and trade any assets to get him. That is such a huge win for the Patriots, regardless of whether or not it works. It's about, hey, what do we have to do? We don't want to trade. We have to move. They didn't have to do anything to get a guy that was, clearly someone that had that first-round draft grade talent on him that many other teams kind of wanted, and they were able to just sit there and have him come to him at 15.
I just enjoy all right, now he's a brilliant pick at 15. And everybody hated him. 12
he was overdrafted at 3, but he's brilliant at 15.
Yeah, I mean, look, because obviously you have the weaving directions of the draft and always some surprises, right? Like a good drama. Stops your heart for a second and say, oh, wow, all right, let's recover, right? Like when Carolina decided, hey, we're drafting defense again. Okay. J.C. Horn's great, but you now turned it up. Now, obviously, selfishly, I like the aggressiveness by the Bears, and I tell you why. He knows he's fired if it all goes wrong. Like Ryan Pace got another swing at the bat, right? Jay Glazer talking about it a little bit earlier, conversation that he'd had with Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace and the brass there in Chicago. Justin Fields, if you go big or go home, right? I didn't expect it, but once the Aaron Rodgers news comes together, that's what I think pushed them into the aggressive stance, right? Because all of a sudden you're looking around the division going, this guy leaves, the other kid probably isn't ready, and this 30-year hold since Don Majkowski gave way to Brett Favre, magically it's like, the Sleeping Beauty effect of, all right, here's the kiss, and now you're awake and you can live again. So maybe I think the Bears suddenly felt bolstered. The other is for our guy Frostberg, and looking around here in Los Angeles, you need Justin Herbert upright if things are going to work. So I get both of it. He gets an offensive lineman, and I get one of 2 Northwestern first-round picks here as Rashawn Slater comes in.
You're a football school
I mean, as many first-round picks as they had in the last 37 years combined. So there. And tying Penn State for most in the Big Ten.
Well, I'll tell you, Fields is my second favorite pick of the first round because the Bears walked a tightrope and they got their next franchise quarterback, right? They stayed silent. They stayed patient. Look, Andy Dalton, our QB1, making everybody think, hey, they got their guy.
Still saying that's the case.
Yeah. Just wait. Just wait to see if that stays. Just wait.
He'll wear number 1, by the way.
Can we get a Photoshop guy in to come in late tonight? Hey, Stanley, are you still up? Can you do me a favor? Can you take that QB1? Can you scrub that one and put Justin Fields' picture in it? Look, they made everybody think they have their guy, Andy Dalton. They didn't say anything. It was a dangerous game to play because you didn't know if the quarterbacks were going to be there. Then when it looked like they were, they made the move up and they got Justin Fields. That was some kind of maneuvering. They played the long game and they were silent about it and they nabbed him. It was a great move. So, I mean, when you don't have to give up anything to get your guy, that's the best move. When you play that game right and move up, okay, that's the second best move. You still had to give up some stuff to get him, but you went out and got him. But those 2 moves, regardless of how they turn out, they had to happen. I love them.
Go big or go home. Look, I got 10 right in the first round. First 7,
nice.
Devontae Smith I had going to Philly, and then Bateman and Owe to Baltimore. So you got a little help for Lamar Jackson, so it's a good start.
Twitter at How About a Fresca. Mike gets Swollen Dome. We got more on the draft coming up next, including a big prediction I'm going to double and triple down on after what happened tonight. Fox.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
Order breakfast at the McDonald's drive-thru. Tell yourself you'll wait to eat it at work, but it smells way too good. So you eat it right there in the McDonald's parking lot meal. There's a meal for every morning at McDonald's.
Right now, get any size iced coffee for 99 cents until 11 a.m. and pair it with your favorite breakfast sandwich or one of our tasty bakery treats. Price and participation may vary.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. McDonald's. I'm loving it.
don't think that you know everything about your child, because there's something that they're not telling you. If I knew that this was going on, I would have went out there and brought my child back home.
When Africa Hardy died in 2014, it seemed completely random, but it wasn't. It was part of a pattern. This is Algorithm, a podcast investigating a modern serial killer and how he could have been stopped. Listen to Algorithm now on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite shows.